hear me because I was on mute. And here we are. Chad's taking turns. He is driving today, calling from Seattle. Always here. Sherry. What's up, Sherry? I don't know who's on Facebook. So Facebook world, you're going to have to say good morning to me because I do go back and I do take a look. Hey, Stephanie and Amy and Christian is here. Good morning. So please put it in the chat this morning. I am blessed and just thankful in good old North Myrtle Beach this morning. It is a beautiful sunny day. I got to be able to do something pretty amazing this morning and watch the sunrise with my daughter Brielle. Her and I got to be able to be a part of that this morning. And then my mom joined me, and then my dad came out. And then guess what happened? My other little angel, he came out. But not only did he bless us with just being able to tell us that he was here, but unfortunately he also peed the bed. So that's how I started my morning this morning. He was just really excited to be up this morning. So good morning, everybody. Good morning as we are all here this morning. My name is Brock Zeven, life coach, business coach, real estate agent, and a dad. And that is my dad's story today. Down here, spring break, and we don't miss a day. So thank you so much, Chad, for leading yesterday, your message that you have today. And so being that I was traveling yesterday, I was not able to do what I want to do. And each week for the next 21 weeks, we're going to be diving into the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. And so I've been reading each one of these and I take notes, and I'm noticing more and more the validity and just why. I mean, he did 25 editions, guys, 25 updates on this. Like this one in here even talks about COVID. If you haven't gotten the book, I'll ask Jay to put it in the Amazon account here in the chat. Strongly recommended. It has just been, now I see why the Eric Thomases, the Les Browns, like all these big wigs who are like huge speakers say like, this is where the book started from. So for those in Facebook, we will also add it to the chat. So before we begin, let's say our affirmation, as we always say, good things happen to me, good things happen for me. Here we go. Good things will happen to me. Good things will happen through me. And so I'm such a strong believer of that. The law of addition, he states this in here: the leaders add value by serving others. For those of you in your life, I'm going to ask you this question. I'm going to ask you, this is what my thought process was this morning. Who are you adding something to? Who are you adding something to in your life that you feel? It could be your kids. Typically, we always say our kids right away. For those that have kids, maybe it's your significant other. You know, who are you adding substance to? And then I'm gonna say another word to you. I'm gonna say, who are you adding significance to? Significance is the other word that I'd strongly write down and keep inside your mindset. Chad, I don't want you writing down anything while you're driving, but just think of the word significance. Okay. And so as I was sitting here, Colin, and I was thinking this morning and watching the sunrise, and I had my family here, people sometimes always ask us, you know, you hear Chad say, what's your purpose? I say, what's your why? Coach doesn't like the word why. So he comes up with, you know, what's your prey drive? What activates you? What motivates you? What gets you going? Okay. And for those that are listening this morning, I'm going to share with you a personal story. So for about 3 years ago, I was trying to find myself and I was trying to come up with whys, and my kids have always been my why. And so I don't really think too much about them. They do their own self-motivating. But I had a really, really amazing opportunity this morning as I shared with you the sunrise. And I specifically did it is because one is my daughter, Brielle. She kept saying, cuddle with me, Daddy, cuddle with me. And then I was thinking my parents. I was like, man, I wonder if my dad wishes that he could cuddle with his daughters. And, you know, he's probably like, I can't do that because obviously his daughters aren't here, but they're all grown up. And I was just like, wow, I never really thought about it that way. And then I'm sitting with my mom and, you know, here I am. And I love my parents, as you all know, but then this is not to be like a downer, but like, at some point, my parents are getting older, like they're not going to be here. And like you start thinking about those type of things. And I always say like opportunities of like, what addition am I doing? What significance am I putting into my parents? And here it is, because think about it, for those with your parents, it's like sometimes it's hard because they've been so bountiful and abundance to us. And God like struck me, and I sent for those that got some of my pictures, and I'll put it on Facebook. But I was telling Chad, I said, God's doing some artwork today on the sunrise over the ocean that I get to look at. And I said to the addition of where the law of addition takes place is, it was like God splashed like cold water on my face. He goes, I'm doing it right now, Brock. You asked for this, and here's your opportunity. Here's what I'm presenting to you. See, my parents have given me vacations all my life. When you're young, your parents aren't saying, all right, kids, before we go on our trip, who's got money for us to go? Who's going to pay for the gas for us to go on vacation? And for majority of my life, or probably half of it, at least 20 some years of my life, my parents have taken me on vacation. And 3 years ago, I said to myself, part of my why is I want to start taking my parents on vacation. I want to start doing things for my parents. And God allows me, this is my 3rd year in a row that I get to take my parents on vacation. And as I was sitting there, the significance was not the money. The significance was the memory. Because all of us were sitting there on the sunrise, watching it go up, as we also last night for the place that we're staying at, that you can go on one side of the hotel and open up your door and you can see the sunset. And then literally you can go to your balcony and you can see the sunrise. And this is why I stay here, and I stayed here for 3 years. If anybody wants, it's in North Myrtle Beach, and it's one of the nicest places that we've been able to have this. And not financially, it's just more along the lines of the opportunities and the memories that are created here. And that was the law of addition to me. The law of addition was giving memories. The law of addition of the significance of my parents right now. They're like, we'll watch. We're going to take Brielle and Bryce for a walk on the beach while you do your call this morning. That's the significance. That's the memories you're creating for people that are into your life. And I want you, those of you who are trying to figure out your why and your purpose is in front of you. You have to look at the addition you're creating to people in a different perspective. And I didn't see it that way till this morning at 6:17, when I'm sitting there being like, duh, Brock, it's right here in front of you. Stop looking at it from this lens. I need you to come over here. Part of the prayer call this morning was I was talking about Jesus in the boat when the apostles were coming off their boat, and they were out there all night long. And the addition that you have is inside of us. And so the apostles, they come off the boat, and it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. And I always put it in perspective of like how I would say it and what was going on in Brock's world, of how I put it in my vision, in my illustration. But like here you come off the boat. Jesus comes in at 5 o'clock in the morning. Hey guys, what you guys been doing? Yeah, there's nothing on the boat. I thought you guys were fishing. Yeah, we were, Jesus, but there's nothing out there today. It wasn't a good night for us. He's like, all right, well, let's go back out there. And you're like, wait a minute. No, I'm tired. No, I need to share this with you. I need you guys to come with me. I need you to have the faith, because I'm going to add something into your life. And many times a law of addition comes in a different way, because law of addition, we guys, it's pretty simple. Like something is going to happen to us in some capacity. Like the law states itself. Like let's dive deeper. Let's peel the onion back, because the law of addition takes place when you least expect it. The law of addition takes place when you're beaten down, when you're tired, when you don't want to go through it. The law of addition takes place in that moment, and things happen to you. Things are happening through you. So Jesus says to them, he says, let's get back on the boat. And of course, they're grudgingly like, all right, fine. We'll go back out, but I really don't want to. And how many of you are doing something today that you really don't want to, and you're trying to figure it out? And you go back on the boat and they start grabbing their nets and they start doing the same exact thing that they did all night long. And how many of you are doing the same exact thing when you're trying to add things up and you're like, I don't understand. 2 and 2 always equals 4, but you want me to do this. And he's like, you know what? I need you to take the exact same nets on the exact same boat and the exact same water. And I want you to put them on the other side of the boat. See, we have what it takes. And the people we need to put significance to are in front of us already. And we get ourselves so distracted. And so when the apostles and Peter and James, they go to the other side of the boat and they put their nets out. And guess what happens? They brought more fish than the boat possibly could even hold. They had to stop fishing because the weight was so big. He made the impossible possible. And just when we want to give up, just when we want to stop adding, just when we want to say, you know what, this isn't for me, I can't keep pouring it out, I can't keep pouring into myself, I can't keep pouring it, how in the world can I pour into others? It is in that very moment when it happens. And so when I read the Law of Addition and wanted to share that story with you, and the impact it had on me this morning was Brock was looking for all the, the financial thing of taking them on vacation, when really that wasn't what it was. My parents would have been happy if we went camping in the freaking woods. But you know what? It was the significance of the addition of the memory that was created, not only for them, but for me. And that's what it's all about this week, is creating memories. And so when it talks about adding profits by adding value, it talks about how you have to be able to pour into people. It says, one of the things it says, do the math. Okay. I talked about 2 + 2 + 4. He goes, but I believe the bottom line in leadership, the bottom line for ourselves and pouring into people, isn't how far we advance ourselves, but how far we advance others. And so the word advance, I want you to think about the definition of advance, because advance sometimes in our lives that we have today, everybody, the advance that we talk about today, everybody, sometimes is not just financially. Advance could be an abundance of different things. The advance could be working with somebody. The advance could be picking up the phone and talking to somebody you haven't talked to. The advance could be in so many different things that we just think it always is money. Are you making things better for people who follow you? Was one of the questions I underlined on here. Are you making things better for the people who follow you? I have a saying that you will not get the rest of me, but you will get the best of me when I go home and have conversations with my kids and Wendy. See, the people who are in my corner, the people who follow me, like I can walk anywhere and my kids will follow me. And for those that are on here, your significant other is another person that when you have that deep relationship, they won't even, like, do you think Bryce, if I go on a bridge and stop and like go to the top of the bridge, like Bryce is going to follow me, guys. Like he's going to follow. He might be like, hey, Dad, why are we up here? It's pretty high, but all right, here I come. Yet when I come home, I'm not adding into his life. I'm subtracting to him. When I was drinking and doing all the things I shouldn't do, in whatever season you are in your life, I could be subtracting because they're getting the rest of me, not the best of me, because I'm giving the rest or the best of me to people during my day who I've never even met, who don't even care about me. But let me sit down here for Zoom and try to solve a problem for the next hour. And instead of recognizing, yes, I get it. Like we have to do that sometimes. But when we come home, stop coming up with excuses that you are going to get the rest of me. No. I ask God every single day. I say, God, could you please I need abundance today in strength, in stamina, and endurance, because today's going to be a long day today. And I have date night tonight, or I have soccer tonight. And I am not going to subtract from my kids or the people who follow me. But that's the first place we want to go. We want to, oh, they'll always be following me. No, stop thinking that way. If they follow you, give them gratitude, add into their life, give them significance in some capacity, whatever it might be. Give them the positive impact that they might be looking for. It talks about truly valuing others, changing people's lives. How you do that, we need to focus on others. In the prayer call today, Latrice was asking for focus, for perseverance. I wrote down this: leaders who add value by serving, believe in their people before their people believe in themselves. See, some of us out here, guys, believe in us and we don't believe in ourselves. There's people on here that I sometimes be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing it like this? Like, what's going on with you? Like, you're better than this. You have more potential than this. Why are you going this way? And they don't believe in themselves. Well, you don't understand, Brock. Okay, try me. What do you got? Well, in my mind, I have some things that are going on that you might not understand, and so that's why I'm going down. I have to go this way. No, stop that. Stop that thought process. Like, I believe in you just as much as I believe in. I see my videos, my boys Chad and Christian. Like, I believe in both of them, and both of them know that I'm annoying to them sometimes. When I'm like, what do you got going on? What are you doing? I'm like, no, I don't understand that way. Just as much as they'll text me and they'll do things. Chad's got his boys playing baseball all the time right now, and he's running around trying to play at every single game, doing everything else. And I said to myself when I read his text this morning, I was like, man, at some point I'm going to be like that. And this guy's still driving and going and doing things. I'm like, God, I'm going to ask for some more stamina. I'm going to need it because I decided to have kids later down my life. So I'm going to be like my mid 50s, almost 60. And I'm still going to have to keep going because Bryce is going to be a teenager. My kids are still going to be in college. I'm going to have to keep going. So God, I need a little extra stamina today as I was thinking about your text this morning, Chad. And so like, I was like, man, I still got to keep adding. I got to keep adding every single day. See, one of the things that I loved about this, he says, know and relate what others value. He says, mature listeners. Okay. Chad was talking about it yesterday and listening to understand, not to respond. Mature listeners learn and then they lead. See, one of the lines I like, John, when I was down there in Orlando, he says, you got to read the room before you can lead the room. And you better believe it. Every time I go into a Zoom, every time I go into an organization, I was at a church thing this past weekend. And for those that were at church with your family, many times you go into these moments and like, especially with significant others, like this is the first time like you've seen each other like maybe in a year because you only get together during the holidays and everybody has different personalities and you're all trying to sit in the same pew and the church is packed and like, I kind of like have these funny comments in my head. I don't say anything, but in my mind, I'm thinking like, why in the world? Like we don't see each other all year, but we're going to go in the most chaotic moment at church. Everybody's trying to dress up, run around with their heads cut off, do everything under the sun. It's packed. It's crazy. And now we're going to try to like engage with each other. Like maybe we should do this like at another time. Like maybe we should have a barbecue like in July where we have more room and like you can come between like 4 and 6 for food. Like, instead of this. And so like we're at church and I read the room now every time I go into it because I read the room, then I lead the room. So we got like young kids, we got Wendy, we got our family, we got siblings, we got brothers and sisters. And in that very moment, you know what I say to everybody? Happy Easter. God bless you. How you been doing? See, it's too easy to say like, oh, we just got here. It's just been crazy trying to get the kids dressed up, trying to do this. And then as soon as we get out of here, we got to go to this family event and then we're running here and then I got to go do this and do this. What did I just add? If I say those comments, am I adding in more, like sharing my stress that I put upon him or saying happy Easter? God bless you, man. How you been doing? Because the addition that I put upon him and the stress, all they're going to do is validate it, be like, man, I was doing the same thing. So when I read the room, I lead the room by putting in the way that I can lead and leading by example, by adding into them that you are going to get the best of me. You're not going to hear about the rest of my morning. Right? I'm going to end this on this message here. from Eugene Peterson. Okay. Talks about part of the Bible. There's a message in here. It says, enter who you are blessed by my Father. Now, this is the addition part, guys, right? He talks about why he shared this and why it's so impactful of adding into people's lives. He said this is the message from Eugene Peterson. The message is, I was hungry and you fed me. I was thirsty and you gave me a drink. I was homeless and you gave me a room. I was shivering and you gave me clothes. I was sick and you stopped to visit. I was in prison and you came to me. And he goes along to say, Master, what are you talking about? And he goes into saying that many times when we turn our head or when we give the rest of people and the best of people, in those moments, we are turning away from God. In those moments is when we really need to step up our game and add. In those moments is when we need to help other people and not overlook, not ignore, face it. I always say the thing to people is when we face fear, you can either run towards fear or run away from fear. But in all these things, hungry, thirsty, homeless, shivering, sick, and in prison, these are all things we physically put inside of our head. Many times what we're facing is just indirectly, or we have to peel back the onion, just like I did this morning. I thought it was the monetary thing of giving my parents a vacation, but it wasn't the money, it was the memory. And so when my parents were saying that they were thirsty, I mean, I don't know what it's like to be their age, but trust me, a conversation comes up one or two, like, hey, when we were gone, Brock, do this. And, we did our life insurance. Like, I've had to have those conversations. But in those moments, they weren't saying, hey, Brock, do you have some money? They were saying, do you have some memories? Do you have some memories for us that you can help create? And so today I challenge you, when you're going through addition of your life, what are you pouring into? Who are you pouring into? Are you adding significance? Are you able to add memories to people? Are you able to pour into others? Or are you too tired at the end of the day that you just don't have it? And so I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to challenge you today to think about your stamina, think about your endurance, think about your day. Think about maybe when you're in a room, that I want you to read the room. I want you to lead the room. I want you to lead it in a different perception. I want you to add value to a room that you step in. I don't care if there's one person in the room or if there's 100 people in a room. How can you add value to other people in those moments? Add value to people you can talk to by serving other people. And if there's somebody in your life you need to filter out that's taking from you and not, there's a saying Eric Thomas talks about, to-go plates. Many times, those people who say to themselves, or you go to those events, or like, especially in realtor luncheons, are always pretty funny. You have those realtors that come for lunch and then they ate lunch and then they're going back again. And you're like, what are you doing? And then, or I was eavesdropping into some of them, and you hear them say, well, my kids are back at home and I saw this extra food here, so I was going to give them lunch too. Like, they're getting a to-go plate. They're not leaving with something. They're taking a little bit extra. And unfortunately, those are people in our lives, but it's okay. You just filter through them. Don't be giving them the best of you. Save that for the people who follow you. Save that for them, because they will follow you no matter where you grow and where you go. And they're the people in your life that you want to add significance and memories to. Guys, the law of addition, YouTube it, take a look at it. It's something that I found very impactful in my life. I mean, really, guys, buy the whole book. I mean, each one of these laws brings something into play. And look at it from a different perspective. Every law I relate to my own life. I try to find a personal story that I can relate to and what I'm doing with it in my life and how I'm able to add to it. So like every law I read, I'm like, wow, that was a really good one. I don't think you can top that one. And then I read the next chapter and I'm like, wow, that was a really good one. I don't think you can top that one. And I keep saying that. And I'm like, wow, I can't wait till I get to the end of it. So guys, next week, for those that are in town, we got Chat GPT. I'm not doing anything this week, saving up, building up my endurance. We got the next 3 weeks are going to be pretty strong and heavy. But next Tuesday, we got a live happy hour talking about AI, Chat GPT. So join us for a happy hour. We'll have food and drinks. Love to be able to have you next Tuesday from 5 to 7. Got a professional coming in telling us about AI and how that works. And then the following Tuesday, we have Ignite Your Wealth. We're going to be doing some investment work, working on multifamilies with Sandy. So definitely come out, take a look at that. And then May 1st and May 2nd, Coach Burt is coming to Charlotte. We're going to be talking about the Pray Drive. We're going to be talking about igniting your business and what that looks like. First quarter wasn't good for many people. Okay. What are you doing in the second quarter to take your business to the next level? We're going to talk about numbers. We're going to talk about different things and what we can do. And it's an all-day event, happy hour. So Jay put those in the chat. And guys, I'm just very thankful. If anybody has anything they want to add, they certainly can here. I got about 3 minutes. Chad's got something. He's giving me the pointer finger.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What do you got for us, brother?
Brock, I just want to tell you, man, that that was probably the most moving message. I got choked up 4 different times. I looked down, I was going 82 miles an hour another time. Thanks for just reminding us, man, what it's all about, dude. And I can't that was strong.
Oh, I appreciate
that. That was strong. And that was a God moment that you had, and you internalized that. And that's what we're missing, man. We're focused on the money and the monetary, and we're missing the blessings right in front of us. And I just want to say thank you, man. That was huge. I appreciate you.
Thanks, man. Love you, brother. I appreciate you sharing this morning on that. And I'm glad that, it is cool to be able to see, sometimes guys, as those that lead and you speak, you don't realize what's going to come out of your mouth. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to say, but just like Chad said, like you don't realize when moments are going to happen just for you as they do for other people. And so I'm thankful for the text messages and the message that people reach out to me. And I'm glad that it was motivating. This is why we do it. This is why we enjoy being able to have these to be able to have that. So thank you so much. And I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for being on here. Christian, thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, brother. Stephanie, for those that led messages. Mr. Kastner, who's in Dallas. I appreciate everybody coming in different time zones to being able to be a part of it. We will be back tomorrow morning at 8:15. Mary Murphy. What's up, Amy? Mary Murphy, for those on Facebook, thank you so much for being on here and your messages. Mary Murphy will be here at 8:15. I will be here. Don't you think I'm not going anywhere. Might have Bryce joining me on the camera. You never know with him. So blessed and thankful. God bless you all. Love you all. Have a phenomenal day today. Go add some significance to somebody today, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. See ya.